Here we go. Here we go, brownies. The kids cardiac. Catch me in the Muni where the party at. Dog pound, turn up with the elf up on my starter cap. Brought him back. Boy, we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back. Here we go, I got him shouting that. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps. Hand for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies.
Cleveland! This is for you! This is for you!
Another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. Ray Showdog is joining us tonight, as always, from Youngstown. Alley is taking a little bit of sabbatical for a couple weeks, but we're going to get into it. Excited to have Cam Thomas, the defensive end from the Cleveland Browns, will be joining us here in a few moments. But first, let's get an announcement from our friends over at Mr. Heroes.
Mr. Heroes turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio. I crave a hero.
Well, guys, second home game for the Cleveland Browns coming up this weekend. Packers are coming to Cleveland. Ray, 40th anniversary of the Dog Pound. It's crazy. It doesn't seem like it's been 40 years, but that's incredible. As we know, Hanford Dixon, Frank Minifield started that 40 years ago. That duo on defense, barking at Baldwin Wallace College at each other, then barking at the crowd and the fans there at training camp. And 40 years later, it's become a tradition. And the section that gets loud and deafening on game days. Ray, how you been?
Oh man, I've been great. Real quick though, you know the one thing about 1985, those were literally the ugliest jerseys in the history of the Cleveland Browns. Do you remember them?
Wasn't there some orange going on? Oh, Ray's like, let me show you.
I just happen to have one here handy. And
yeah.
They had the ugly orange and the ugly thick stripe. Or whatever,
it was the heavy orange thick stripe. That's what it was. That was what it was.
And the white jerseys was even worse.
Yeah, I just remember those. Now that I think about it, those thick orange, and of course now they have the more traditional, solid, evenly stripes on there. Well, why don't we go ahead and bring Cameron on? I know he's got to get ready for this week's game, but let's bring him on and welcome him to the program.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? I just want to say I appreciate you guys having me on.
All the way from Carlsbad. What's up?
Oh, man, let's go. I'm fired up now.
Let's go.
So, Cameron, a little thing you won't know about me, actually, is I'm actually not a native to Cleveland, Ohio. Allie and I started this podcast about 5-6 years ago. She started it. She's off the next couple of weeks, so she was sad that she couldn't be here, but we'll get you back on again. At some point. We have a lot of fun on the show because it's a show by the fans for the fans. So fans interact, they bring comments, they get to do all kinds of stuff since it's a live show and organic, right? So we have fun. But I'm actually originally from Boise, Idaho. So I'm very familiar with the Mountain West and Mountain West football play. You coming from San Diego State, being a former defensive player of the year. So you know how hard it is to win in Boise, Idaho, being a San Diego State player. First and foremost, let's go back in a little bit of time. You're a third-round draft pick, ended up being with the Arizona Cardinals. Didn't have to travel too far, right? But you went there. Tell us about your time just in college, because I just want to talk with the people where you came from, being a Mountain West player and obviously originally a California kid.
Yeah. So being a kid in San Diego, growing up in San Diego, I will say it was a little bit hard to leave San Diego once you kind of know everything it's got. And on top of that, my brother Zachary Thomas had also gone to San Diego State. He was 2 years older than I was. He's an offensive tackle. So I grew up in Carlsbad, which is only about 40 minutes from the campus. I was kind of able to live a little bit of the life through him. Just going up and visiting him, and ultimately, I knew that that's where I wanted to be was at San Diego State with my brother playing football, pretty much from my hometown. So and I got into San Diego State. I was a little scrawny kid getting in there. I was only about 220 pounds when I had arrived. And over the time I was there, I ended up bulking up to like 275.
Hmm.
But ultimately, the first time I really got on the field at San Diego State, I was a 240-pound nose guard playing zero
Oh,
technique, one shade, and three. And I loved it. It was great actually. I was able to kind of use my undersized to my advantage. I was just kind of shooting through gaps and using my speed there. So I ended up eventually making the transition to defensive end there in my last season, which is the season I had won the defensive player of the year. And overall, my time at San Diego State was a blessing, and I very much enjoyed it.
well, I will say Boise, Idaho is cold. I will tell you, I always look at people anytime I go to Southern Cal and catch a Boise State San Diego State game. I have relatives in Southern California. I was like, yeah, we're going to go down to San Diego State and watch a football game. So it's like a little mini vacation to get out of the cold. So let's transition that, right? You go from warm weather, you go over to Glendale. The Cardinals draft you, and then you have a slight little time with the Chiefs, and then you end up in Cleveland, where the weather is super cold.
Y'all moving too fast. You first of all, Cam, you stole my thunder because I wanted to know how many phone calls your parents had to get when the Thomas boys got up to San Diego State. Because I know you and Zach was up there cutting it up.
Oh
Am I
yeah,
right? Am I wrong?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
Yeah. So now you're in Cleveland. I live here now. I've lived here about a couple of years. The winters are not forgiving here. So how do you survive last year and here in Cleveland with the weather, the way the weather is? Because you're right, it's totally different. So
Yeah, that's a great question there, actually. So I was very spoiled growing up in San Diego, going to San Diego State, getting drafted to Arizona. Really haven't had too much cold there. However, both my parents are actually from Michigan, so I would
Roll.
I would have occasional winters that I would go up there. So I had like a little bit of a sliver of the cold, but nothing like last year. Last year was an eye opener for me. So I spent my first 2 years in Arizona, which was the exact opposite, hot as heck out there. And
yeah.
then I end up in my going into my third year, end up traded to Kansas City. And the whole time I was there, it was honestly kind of beautiful. It just started getting a little bit chilly around early November. Is kind of where my tenure there ended.
Right.
And I ended up here actually on Thanksgiving Day is when I had ended up here.
Wow.
And there was a little bit of snow patches on the ground, nothing like that. But it was like two days after something like that. Oh man, that was an experience I'm never gonna forget. And
You're like, this is snow and this is a real winter in the north.
yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a layup to joke on me here. I got here last year, got a rental car, and I saw the little like snow shovel for like the windshield. I didn't even know what it was. And don't get me wrong though, like I figured it out pretty quick. It didn't take very long to figure that out because it was like 2 days after I just got here. It had snowed. So and another thing too is like it was like really like my first time like truly driving in snow, and I had no warning for that. no training. So I got to point A and point B safely, luckily. Um,
It's funny, the people that have grown up in the South, and I grew up in Boise, so I just assume I know what a brush and a scraper on the end is, right? Like that's just what you have in your car in the wintertime. And I remember one person was like, "What is this from?" Like, oh my gosh, they've never been in snow. They have no idea what this thing is actually, with the brush on one side and the scraper on the other. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely a necessity in your car from like November through February. So it's like,
yeah.
but
Yeah, so I was renting a car then, and now I have my car out here, and trust me, I got one of the shovels, and it's a good one too. So
nice.
I'm prepared, officially prepared.
Well, first, congrats. I mean, obviously, it was a tough loss at Baltimore last week, and we're going to try to rebound against the Packers. But you got a half sack. You made some disruptive plays. Excited and congratulated for you. My question, then I'll hit it over to Ray. If you get the opportunity this Sunday and your numbers call, what are you most excited against the Packers? Obviously, a team coming in that's 2-0 will be a challenge, but also a good challenge, and you're back in front of the fans at home. I think this game will be way different in a lot of ways because it's an anniversary, it's a celebration. I think the fans will really come out screaming pretty loud in this game.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited for this game. This is my 4th season now in the NFL, and this will be the first time I actually play the Packers. So that's very exciting. On top of that, speaking of Mountain West here, I played Jordan Love when he was at Utah State.
Yeah, that's true.
And they whooped on us a little bit, and I'm still a little salty about that. And so there's that aspect. And I gotta say this, I had in my second year when I was in Arizona, we come to Cleveland, and it was my first time experiencing the dog pound. And I remember texting my fiance, like, the atmosphere there was insane. Like it was incredible, the dog pound atmosphere. So tie up all together, I could not be more excited for this game.
Well, so what you're saying is if you get a sack on Jordan Love, you can go tap him and go, hey, remember me in the Mountain West? That's just a little payback for the Utah State, San Diego State days. Then.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Ray.
So my biggest question, Cam, is, so 2 years in Arizona, 1 in Kansas City, and then 2 years here. Now, I know for a fact Jim Schwartz loves that heavy rotated defensive line, keep everybody fresh, keep them dogs running. How would you compare that style as opposed to the other two teams? I mean, do you like this? Do you like what he's doing here, or do you prefer something else that might fit your skill set?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say I absolutely love it here. I absolutely love Schwartz's defense and everything that goes along with it. Just the aggressive tactile defense. Like as far as a defensive lineman, there's really nothing more you could ask for than just, go make plays. That's what they tell you. We talk about taking the handcuffs off and just going out there and playing fast, man, and get in the backfield. And when you do that, obviously, there's a lot more running involved with that versus like a Reed's game, a little bit more similar to like what I ran in Kansas City, where we're more in the line of scrimmage. So getting guys in and out too just keeps them fresh, and I absolutely love it because it gets me on the field. So can't complain about that. And no, I'm a big fan of what Schwartz does here.
Hey, they've been winning Super Bowls with it in Philly, so it can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Right.
So, Cam, one of our listeners here asked this question: how is it like practicing with Miles day to day out there before a game?
Yeah, Miles is. I'll say this. I've had the honor to play with some very good players in my career. With JJ Watt early in my career in Arizona, Zach Allen, Chris Jones, Myles Garrett, being on that list. And I will say the way that Miles goes about his work is it's incredible. Obviously, the type of athlete he is and the person he is, and then just the skill set that to go along with it. He is truly an incredible player, and I'm very fortunate to be able to play with him.
Yeah, I always think like when you have like those type of players on your team, it makes everybody around you better, right? I just think that whole mentality for that front. I think I saw it in the Rams game, the preseason game, and I said this front's going to be ugly this season, and they've proven me right. Like they're going to be nasty, they're going to get after people and be aggressive. So I'm excited to see more of that. Obviously, this week against the Green Bay Packers. So here's a fun question. We always try to go off of not football. You experienced Cleveland's wonderful snow. By the way, I think the summers here are amazing. You don't get that extreme heat, as you probably realize. Like I got in Idaho where it's 110 could be for a month, and you don't want to go outside. But where are some of your favorite food, and what are your go-tos here in Cleveland, for food, and when you're going to go out and just enjoy a nice dinner, with your fiance or whatever have you found to be pleasant places to go that are exciting?
Oh man, I was so happy you asked that question because I'm a foodie, and got here late last year. There really wasn't too much time outside of just football to really experience the true Cleveland, and that's one of the fortunate things about the OTAs period, the spring period, is not only you get to come in and learn, get together with the guys and learn the playbook and kind of set the foundation for the team, but you get some time in the city. And there's been a lot of great food spots. I spent the time in Lakewood, and the First Love, and this is arguably the best pizza I think I've ever had in my life. Angelo's Deep Dish Pizza has my heart. It is exactly what I look for in a pizza. It is delicious pizza.
It's the buttery crust bottom, right? It's a whole real thing.
It's an art. The bottom of the crust is an art. It is to perfection. It's consistent every single time you go in there. It's like that. And then they had the balsamic glaze too that goes with it. And I've never had that anywhere. That was different. And oh man, it complements the pizza so well. So shout out Angelo's. And then we also, a big fan of ours is Woodstock barbecue. Woodstock barbecue. I believe it's a little bit new of a spot, but yeah, shout out to Woodstock. Kansas City, they're very well known for their barbecue, and I was impressed when I was there. But I will say this Woodstock barbecue, it was that good that I might even put it above all those places in Kansas City. So I'm not trying to bring Kansas City down, but I'm really just saying, how great that Woodstock barbecue is.
Well, I tell you what, one of our sponsors of our podcast is City Barbecue, which has 6 locations here in Ohio. So we might have to hook you up with some barbecue and have you go into one of their locations and hook you up and do that connoisseur bar. Because by the way, barbecue is near and dear to my heart. I love barbecue. It's probably, I always tell people, my last meal. If you can just put out the whole barbecue, the mac and cheese and all that, I'll die a happy man. That could be my last meal. But we'll have to hook you up with some City Barbecue, and there's some out in Avon, but there's about 6 locations. But we'll have to hook you up with some good City Barbecue is really good. Ray can attest to that too. They're pretty consistent too. But they have 6 locations here, so you can go find one wherever you're closest to. So
I would absolutely love to try that. I love trying new food spots. So yeah, I'll be all over that, and I can give you an honest review after I love it.
So Ray, go ahead. What's your next question, Ray?
So let's change gears a little bit, because you briefly mentioned your parents are from, or your dad's from Royal Oak, Michigan, right?
Correct.
Which means you probably grew up Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Check this out. You were born 1 year after Barry Sanders retired. I looked at that. I was like, man, but you caught Megatron though. I'm guessing Megatron was your guy, right?
Yeah. No, trust me. You just mentioned Philly with Schwartz, and I was gonna blurt it out there, man. Schwartz, when he was in Detroit, then be able to come here and be part of that defense, oh man, that is so cool to me. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, Cameron, as always, we appreciate your time. I know you got film to study, all those wonderful things. I'll reach out. We'll get an email out to Mike Dillon, as you know, that set up this this interview and stuff, and we'll find a way to get you some stuff to go into one of the city barbecues. They'll love that. They were just at the Taste of the Browns, so I saw a bunch of your teammates, all the offensive line, Joe Platonio, all those guys, Shelby Harris, a bunch of them were over at the Taste of the Browns, and you can give them a hard time and say, hey, why didn't you invite me to go try some of that city barbecue? Because it was at the Taste of the Browns on Monday night. So give your teammates a hard time for not giving you the invite. So
Definitely will do. And yeah, I'm very fired up to try some city barbecue. I look forward to it.
Hey, good. Like I said, if your number is called this weekend, we'll be looking for you. Hopefully you get that sack on Jordan Love. And I can remember that and be like, we talked about it. There's that sack that he owed the guy from Utah State eventually.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, and we would love to have you back again. Always a pleasure as well. So,
all right. Yeah, sounds great. You guys have a good one.
Go Browns.
Yeah, go Browns.
Go Browns.
That was Cam. Came on the show tonight. What a great kid, man. What a great kid. Good energy. The kind of guy you want in your rotation. What's that?
He's only 25.
I know, right? Just kids these days, right, Ray? Well, Ray, let's give a couple shout outs to our sponsors while we're here. Let me just get some of these rolling so we can take care of some of those sponsors. Yeah, well, you just heard it. He's going to try it. We're gonna hold him to it. Cam Howard, get some city barbecue. Check them out. Go over to the 6 Northeast Ohio locations. By the way, a great shout out to them for being a part of the Taste of the Browns with the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. I believe the food bank raised between $300,000 and $400,000 Monday night, which is crazy. Also, by the way, if you're at the stadium this weekend, Stadium Mustard, try that on your hot dog or that sausage at the stadium. Who doesn't want some of that? That's going to be amazing. Get it at your grocery store. Or, by the way, if you can't find it at your grocery store and you're watching the show from across the country, go to stadiummustard.com. That's right, stadiummustard.com. You can go get some there or ask for it in your local grocery store. And if they don't have it at your favorite bar, restaurant, or establishment, hey, tell them to start stocking it. Another shout out to our friends over at Lady Caroline. By the way, we have our boat ride. They got rescheduled for October 18th. We're excited to have you out for that. It'll be a lunch buffet, yacht rock DJ, Browns themed, but come out to that. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. That October 18th from noon to 2, come out to Lady Caroline. And by the way, while we're doing it, let's give a shout out to our friends over at We Bleed Ohio. That's right. They make the official Here We Go Brownies podcast gear. That's right. We Bleed Ohio makes the official Here We Go Brownies gear. Also, they're going to be out at our event for the Avon Lake Browns backers this weekend. Saturday, 11 to 3. Going to check them out. And then our friends over at, sorry, I had those mixed up. That was Lake Erie Distillery. And our friends over at We Bleed Ohio will be out this weekend. But Lake Erie Distillery, by the way, they're going to be on the boat as well, October 18th, doing sampling and all the fun stuff. And, Ray, what I really like? I had a great time with Prime Time Sports and Framing last weekend. Got to hang out with Clay Matthews, the legend. It was really cool to hang out with him for a few hours. We had him on the show last week. But, guys, you better get there next Tuesday. Schlesinger, the linebacker for the Browns, that's right, is going to be at Great Northern Mall. That's right, September 22nd, 7 to 8 p.m. Carl Schlesinger, you do not want to miss this. Carl Schlesinger going to be at the Great Northern Mall next Tuesday. Write it down. Carl Schlesinger next Tuesday. You don't want to miss that. Great time, 7 to 8. So, Ray, let's get into it. Packer week. Last time I checked, they're favored by 7. What are some of the keys to victory that you think the Browns need to do for getting their first win since, by the way, before Thanksgiving of last year? Not to be a downer, but the Browns haven't won since before Thanksgiving of last year, Ray. What do the Browns need to do to get this W? And honestly, I'm just going to say maybe get Kevin Stefanski off the hot seat a little bit here. Take it away, Ray.
Well, my friend, they have so many. I'm gonna have to spin the wheel just to see what we. And the wheel says, offensive line needs help, most definitely.
Yeah.
we got a quarterback that's. Here's the thing about Flacco. Flacco can be effective if you give him time, but because our offensive line has basically got old right in front of us, he can't move. So I'm almost in favor of trying Dylan Gabriel simply because he's mobile, and because let's put it like this. If we play another 4 games and Flacco gets beat up, we're not going to have to take him out. He's going to get hurt. So I would start with the offensive line because everything starts up front, just like on defense. That defensive line gets things going. Offensive line gets things going. And, man, go ahead.
Here's the thing. I'm actually a big fan of Flacco, and I will forever be endeared to him. And within feet of me here, I have a Joe Flacco framed jersey. So I like the guy. I really love what he did for the Browns and brought excitement back in 2023. But I will tell you this. You brought up, and my concern was, I think we brought him back a year too late. And what I mean by that is if they were going to do this, they should have brought him back last year. Because you know what I saw? I felt like I saw a slow Joe Flacco that age had finally caught up to him. And he looked like he was running slow back there, running in sand. Like I did not see the Joe Flacco of 2023 moving around, quick. I think age is caught up, unfortunately. It catches up with all of us, right? We wake up, we have more aches and pains than we did at 25 and 40 and 50 and beyond. Like just your body, it ages. But I saw that game and I was like, man, he looks really slow and sluggish behind the line.
Yeah, but okay. But if your line is giving you time, he does all he got to do is drop back and throw. Why does he? First of all, why is he even scrambling? Because he's like Bernie Kosar Part 2. It looks like a giraffe running back there. So my point is, he still got the arm. He still has the head. Okay, he don't. To be honest, let's be honest. He never really was that fast. I think he was maybe operational in terms of scrambling. But here's the thing, though: give him time, or bring him Dylan or one of the other quarterbacks, because you're going to get him killed with the line that we have. You're going to get him killed back there.
Yeah, and just full transparency when it comes to you're right. He didn't have a lot of time in Baltimore,
right?
And they basically didn't even blitz. They're like, well, yeah, throw it. Because we got you covered basically, and we're just going to disguise and scheme you. And then, but I don't know if you noticed, and even Deshaun Watson did this at times. He would run up into a sack, if that makes sense, instead of kind of coming back because he's tall enough to survey. But I almost felt at times he was running into the line of a sack, and I was like, well, this is not working.
Right. Well, here's the other thing though too. Maybe now that Jerkins has full week or whatever, maybe we can get the running game and then they could they have because they didn't have a balance last year, pass versus run. So right. I think once Jerkins become a little more acclimated, with the system and everything, I think, and because I really believe that Sampson and Jerkins could be that. Don't beat me up. Something like Chubbs and Kareem Hunt. That thunder and lightning kind of
thing. And what's funny is that's what I thought was pretty special. And I think can still be special this season because I don't think the season's gone by any means. Like if you get to 1-2, even if you go to 1-3, I mean, that's tough against Detroit, but I think you can beat Minnesota in London. So you're at 2-3 and you kind of find your way because your schedule gets better. We know as the back end of the season happens. But based on what I saw at Dylan Sampson in that first game against Green Bay, I'm like, well, man, if you had Judkins here for that pow, and then you could get Dylan out on the outside to be that Kareem Hunt type of player, I'm like, this is what they clearly drafted for, was the 1-2 punch of young legs trying to replicate what they had before with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I mean, I saw that. I was like, okay, now it makes sense. I see what they're doing here.
And once let's just say Dylan Gabriel does get in, now you open up you can open up the playbook more because now you have they can have jet sweeps with him running or whatever, not jet sweep, I'm sorry, but they can have the run option. whatever OPRs is that or RPOs? I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's a long. They could have the RPOs going, and you can't do that with Flacco. So let's put it like this: they said he's going to start, but something tells me the Sandman is going to be on the sideline with the hook. And for those of you who don't know who the Sandman is, if you ever watched the Apollo and that guy, if the actor's really bad, he comes up with the hook and snatches him off. Sandman's going to be on the sideline. Trust me.
So yeah, let's talk about this. There's been a lot made of, and I'll be honest, I was a little shocked by this. After watching that game, that Stefanski was very quick to say no quarterback change like that. Like it was like he didn't even have to think about it. But I was like, well, and I realized, I know it was garbage time against the Ravens there at the end, but Dillon looked just quicker, right? More lively, more pop on the ball. And Judkins banged out a 31-yard run like that. Boom, just like that. Like all of a sudden, everything seemed to move a little faster. My worry is if we get behind, a pick is thrown. I think we see Dillon. I think we see Dillon Gabriel second half of the football game. I don't think. Well, and here's what I do think. In years past with Stefanski, he was not as quick to make a quarterback change, right? He was like, we're going to ride or die with this guy. That was just kind of Stefanski's way the last couple of years. Based on what he did in that Ravens game, I think we will see a pull of, okay, we're going to see what the kids are made of. Would agree? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. And I was just talking about this the other day. Because we don't play the starters in the preseason, pretty much the first 4 games of the regular season is the preseason. So yeah. I'm guessing the reason Stefanski answered so quick is because, well, you know, I haven't really seen enough to know, although us as fans, you know, we're quick on the trigger and say, hey, we've seen enough. But, you know, obviously they know more up there. They're getting paid. But yeah, I just think with the way they're handling preseason, the regular season is 4 games in. And then and then they evaluate, okay, let's switch this, let's change this, keep it moving.
Yeah. Now I'm really going to throw you a hook. You ready, Ray?
Okay.
There's been some rumblings of this, and I would not be shocked based on now with everything.
I've seen it. I already know you're going.
Well, there's 3 guys named Andrew Berry, Jimmy Haslam, Kevin Stefanski, all saw this guy work out and said he looks good, we like him, and we're going to go with him. This is also a guy that I believe also attended his wedding. So in October, the Cleveland Browns are going to have to decide if they're going to set or activate Deshaun Watson. I think there really is a world where if we get to October and November, not because he's going to stay a Cleveland Brown, but for the simple fact, if he goes out and performs well, he becomes an asset for you to show off to other teams for a possible trade and be like, okay, this guy's still got the goods. Maybe the Browns can make a trade, and they want to see what he looks like after post-injury. Thoughts on that, Ray?
I like that. I like the way you're thinking with that one, because here's the thing: you're paying him the money anyway. So, and if we're really, really doing bad, what do you got to lose? And like you say, he might catch fire. He might do a Flacco,
right?
Catch fire, and then the next thing you know, everybody's phones ring. Hey, we'll give you a first and a second for Watson. Okay, I'm joking. That would never happen.
Hey, I would be doing somersaults for that. I would take a 3rd round pick at this point, but yeah.
I was going to correct it and say a third or a 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, just take the contract.
Yeah, or we'll take half of it and move off because of cap space and all that.
Right. And see, I could actually see a scenario of that actually working.
So Ray, real quick, I want to make a couple announcements here. If you need some real estate and you need someone to take care of here in the greater Northeast Ohio, you have to trust Crystal Giuntoni. That's right. She is amazing. She works for the EXP, but she's an independent broker. She can help you with listings if you need to get your house listed and sold quickly. But she'll also help you sell or look for a house that you need. She will get you and take care of you. That is Crystal John Tony with the EXP Real Estate Group. You can find her at 216-215-6663, and she'll be able to help you. Ray, since we last talked, I'm really excited to announce this. If you are in Greater Cleveland and you're downtown Cleveland, that's right. We have our now new exclusive Here We Go Brownies Brown Ale on tap at Southern Tier Brewing in downtown Cleveland. By the way, they're having their Pumpkin Fest this weekend. You've got to go join that. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be downtown right here in Cleveland. So if you go down and check them out, that is going to be, that's right, just to give a shout out here, that's the Pumpkin Fest, September 20th. By the way, live music. The company housing band will be there from 12 to 2, Bad Hooks from 4 to 6. Come join us. We'll be there after our event in actual Avon Lake. Shot and beer combos, pumpkin flights, brunch menu, pumpkin merch, all that fun stuff. And that's right. You can also get yourself some Here We Go Brownies Brown Ale there, but that is going to be at Southern Tier Brewing in downtown Cleveland this Saturday. Come on down, starting at noon. Ray, let's go a little into the game. Let's just go to, I'm going to give you a two-part question here. One, what's your key to victory against the Green Bay Packers this weekend? Your keys to victory. What are you looking forward to most in the game? And what is your biggest concern in the football game?
Well, I think the key to the game is it's not one or it's a couple of things. First, the line has to protect. The line has to develop or help develop the running game. Because at the end of the game, at the end of the day, balance is, to me, is the key. The defense is set. Balance, and let's just keep hoping that the kicker is kicking right. And what was the second part?
You want to talk about a bright spot on Sunday against the Ravens? Stefanski had the right call not to yank the and I think he was like, that's one game out of how great he's looked all preseason and, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And what was the second part? What was the second part?
What's your biggest, what are you most looking forward to in the game? And what's your biggest concern?
Biggest concern would probably be, well, yeah, I hope Flacco don't get hurt behind that line. I mean, yeah, that's my biggest concern because if they can keep him upright, I think it will be in any game. If they could keep him upright and give him time, I think we're in all the games. I really do. Because the running game is going to come. So it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
The main thing I want you and fans to remember. The defense always starts fast, always, and it always takes that offense is like a slow locomotion pulling out of the station, chug, chug, chug. But once it gets to going and all them cylinders is popping, we're gonna be rolling. So that's really what I'm hoping for. I don't really want to react for the first 4 games because I just think that's their preseason.
So George brings up a good point here. I think it all starts with attitude. We have to come into this game with the attitude they want to win. I wholeheartedly agree. I think if you come in, I think, attitude happens a lot in the NFL. And if they come in and think they got to win this game and they're going to win this game, I think that's the real deal, right? Like if you come in and know you're going to beat these guys, and know that you have that attitude to beat them. And I think that's why Myles Garrett was pissed off about after the Ravens game. Because in that first half, would you agree? Until the wheels came off, the Browns were in that football game, and they were playing competitive football for that first half, and then the wheels came off. So, but for me –
hey, real quick. You know what Mike Tyson said about attitude?
What?
It only lasts until the first punch is thrown.
That's true, but that's what I'm saying. If the Browns come in looking for a fight and they punch, You know what I mean? I think
Right,
that kind of throws the Packers off balance. Like, oh, these guys came to play today, right? They're not messing around. So I agree. Keys to victory for me, for the sake of podcasting, I won't go with for keeping Joe Flacco upright and the offensive line. I'm going to go a different route. The Browns are absolutely losing the turnover battle. I think the Cleveland Browns need to come up with 1 or 2 takeaways in this game and create some turnovers and get that defense, maybe an opportunistic defensive score or something that has to really set the tone for this game. So I'm looking for the defense, unfortunately, to win the football game for us and really kind of rise to the occasion. Because to your point, I just don't know if the offense is ready to be on all cylinders. I think it's going to take another couple of weeks to really get Judkins and these guys going. So I'm looking for the defense to win this game. My worry in this game will obviously be the offensive line, but more importantly, just how long they're going to keep Joe in and continue before they pull the cord. That's probably my biggest concern in this game. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is seeing how this defense is going to perform on Sunday. If I told you, Ray, and you may not know this, do you know what the number 1 ranked defense in the National Football League is today?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was in Cleveland, but they should be at least in the top 5.
They're number 1, Ray, and that is.
I'm not surprised. I mean, they've been playing lights out.
Right, and the score would tell you, well, how are they number 1? Well, as you know, the league goes over yards allowed per game is how they judge. The Browns are allowing under 200 yards per game, right? That's elite defense when you can allow less than 200 yards a game. So I think the defense needs to keep playing at a high level for us to be in these football games, because I don't know when that's going to turn and go the other way. But that's the other thing. I do know this about the defense. They can only put up with it for so long, and then the dam breaks and they can only do that. So real quick shout out to our friends over at Greater Cleveland Aquarium. By the way, if you're looking to get some amazing things for the family to go down and check them out, go check them out over at Greater Cleveland Aquarium in downtown Cleveland. By the way, we're giving a 4-pack of tickets away. Like I said, also, we're pretty excited. Like I said, October 18th, we're excited about this cruise. You got to get on it. It's noon to out on the lake, lunch, yacht rock, hanging out with folks like us, a lot of Browns fans, Ray. This is going to be a fun day. It's going to be a great day for all the fans to get together. By the way, tons of cool prizes, tons of amazing giveaways. So you definitely want to try to make it out there to that this weekend, because I think you're really going to enjoy it. Ray, let's give some score predictions for the Cleveland Browns. And of course, Allie and I always talk about this. We have to hold it to our, we got to be responsible for our scores. What's your score prediction for the Cleveland Browns this week? And by the way, you can pick the Packers. You don't have to be biased. Just what is your honest?
I can never go against my Browns, but
well, sometimes you have to, Ray. Because
I think if they win the game, it's going to be a close one, like 24-21 Browns.
All right, writing it down. Ray's got 24-21 Browns, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go 2014. I think. Well, no, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna say the Browns defense is pissed off. They've had enough of this way we're playing. By the way, Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2. How about that? Let me just throw that out there. The Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2. So, by the way, there's like 6 teams. Almost half the teams, by the way, Ray, are 0-2. So I think the Browns know they're not out of this, right? There's going to be a lot of stuff happen for the rest of the season. I think the Browns are going to be pissed. Now, this is a shocking amount of what I'm about to say. 20-7. 20-7. The Browns only allow 1 touchdown in this football game, and they win with – no, you know what? I'm going to go 24-7. No, I'm going 24-7 in this game. And the Browns kind of flip the script because the defense comes out, plays great, and just dominates this football game. Dominates it from all aspects. So what do you think of that, Ray? What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, As long as you got the Browns coming out on top, I'm with it.
All right, Ray. So, Ray, it's been a while since people have caught up with you. I always like to give you a little shout out. Where can people find you, your show, what time? What's been going on over there with the Super Fan Addicts podcast? Share some of that with folks.
Thank you, Dustin. I do the Super Fanatics podcast every Thursday evening, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we have a great guest, Walter Beach, who was one of the original players on the 64 championship team.
Yep.
He's 92 years young. He's a heck of an interview. So if you have a chance, please be sure to step in or stop by and check us out.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, since Ray is a part of our A&D Media family, you can watch that live on his feed and also the Here We Go Brownies live feed tomorrow night on Facebook. But give him a like, give him a follow. I know you had Tom Darden on last week. That was probably a great. He's a great interview, full of energy, great guy. But good point. Ray, let's go
real quick. By the way, of Tom Darden, he will be in Cleveland Saturday at the Primetime Show, along with six other Cleveland Brown alumni. So you definitely after. So what you want to do if you're planning out your Saturday, go to Dustin's Car Show first.
Yep.
Be there. Go to the Primetime signing afterwards. 7 Browns players. How you gonna mess that up? 7 Brown players.
Well,
7.
Ray, this you may not realize, but here's who's all going to be there. Right, come to my event, 11 to 1-ish, right? And then head over to the Great Northern Mall. Come early, enjoy the car show till about 1:30, and then head over. Ozzie Newsome, the great Wizard of Oz, will be there. Ernest Biner will be there. Dan Fike, Mike Babb, Paul Farron, Cody Risen. Basically, Bernie Kosar's offensive line is the best way you can probably describe that. Now, you mentioned something about Tom Darden, and I don't know if you know this, Ray. But our good friend Tom is doing something really cool. Guess what he's doing for Tom Darden signing?
Well, I know it's free.
It's free. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to meet the all-time interception leader for the Cleveland Browns, that's right. Tom Darden is the all-time interception leader for the Cleveland Browns. Go over there, get a free autograph. It's a great gift. And then the next one's only $20. So basically, you could get 2 or 3 autographs of Tom Darden along with the other guys. And how cool would that be? That just sounds like a great day over there. But by the way, that is Saturday, 2 to 3. Come to the event out at Avon Lake at Tailgaters Bar and Grill. By the way, it's helping the Cleveland Browns Foundation and the kids Northeast Ohio stay here in school. It's a big deal. Car show. Ray's going to have his entire display out there, and he's throwing it back in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Dog Pound, right, Ray? People will see all the collection of the 40th anniversary will be out there. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, aren't you having a couple of Browns players at the car show?
Yeah, Greg Pruitt, Ben Davis are trying to roll through. Felix Wright's going to come through, and also the top dog, Hanford Dixon of the Dog Pound, will be going through. So, by the way, you'll be able to. It's going to be like an alumni central. You'll get alumni at my event. You'll get alumni over at. If you want to meet some Browns legends, Avon Lake and Great Northern Mall is where you want to be this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, by the way, if you want to see an awesome current player that I think is going to be an amazing player, Schlesinger will be there Tuesday, because we all know that's the day off that these guys get from the NFL as a day off. Carson's going to be over there 7 to 8 p.m. on that day, on Tuesday of the following week. So it's a lot of prime time coming up this week, Ray. A lot of prime time going on. Ray, question, Ray. Not to put you on the spot, but anything with the games this weekend surprise you? Is there any game or that kind of stood out to you matchups this week?
To be honest with you, if it ain't the Browns, I really don't care. This early in the season. Now, once the season gets started, I might look around, but I'm focused in on the Browns. So
let me ask you, I'm going to give you a couple scores here. Packers are 2-0 coming to Cleveland. We're 0-2. Obviously, they've been playing, they beat the Lions and the Commanders, so it's not going to be no small task for the Cleveland Browns this weekend. Jets are 2-0. Let me ask you about this. This is interesting. I don't know how this is going to be handled, and I think it's going to be interesting. You probably saw, because this is very topical for the Cleveland Browns, Joe Burrow's out for 3 months with a toe injury. He needs surgery. What do you think that does to the playoff hopes and everything for the Cincinnati Bengals? I mean, that's a tough. That's when you take the franchise out like that, especially when you don't have like.
Well, here's the thing. Cincinnati loves their backup, and he came in the game and he finished it. It wasn't pretty, but he finished the game off and they won. So
right.
I think they rally around that guy, and I can't think of what his name is because I hate the Bengals. Whatever his name is,
Browning.
Right. So yeah, I think they're probably going to rally around him and because they got one of the most high-powered offenses in the league. So, and their defense is good as well too. I don't know. Don't ask me about them Bengals.
Well,
wait, real quick. Did you see the message that JLK put up on Instagram?
I did, but why don't you share a little bit of that with our audience that may have not got to see it?
If I'm allowed to put my glasses on, I'll read it to you.
You are. Hey, you know what? Put your readers on.
So, this is from JLK. Long ago, the people watched a star. One night, the star seemed to have vanished from the sky. So night after night, they looked, wondering if its light had died forever. What they did not know was that the star had not ended. It was preparing for a transformation. When it returned, it did not shine the same. It blazed with radiance that marked the heavens. So too are some men who are out when the season begins. Their light is not lost. It's only preparing to burn brighter when his appointed time comes. Bro, if you don't have goosebumps, something's wrong with you. Because you know what that means? That means JLK is coming back. And my thing is Schlesinger is the reincarnation of Clay Matthews, in my opinion. So, and also in my opinion, JLK should have never played linebacker. He's too small to take on those
more like a Felix Wright safety position.
Put him in and then if you want to bring him up in the box, okay, but then drop him. JLK would be the perfect safety, in my opinion. He would be the perfect safety. So if this means that he's coming back, please, if Jim Schwartz, if you're listening to this, JLK safety, leave him there.
Schlesinger doing a good job. Leave him in his spot right now.
He is. No. But you know the one question that I wanted to ask Cam was how excited was he? So I asked it to you. How excited are you with these young rookie defensive linemen that we got? Because whenever they get a chance, they showing out.
Well, for me, we could say, and we could also say this, that Andrew Berry hasn't always been able to have an entire full draft to figure out what he does. But I think we can all say that he hit on this draft.
He killed this draft. Come on, man.
Yeah. This draft, from Mason to Dillon to Judkins to all these guys, Fannin,
even undrafted ones.
Yeah, well, but what I mean by that is you have a good draft if half your guys hit. You know what I mean? Like if half of them hit, that's a good draft. There's a possibility that this draft class for Andrew Berry will be looked back at as like, wow, he almost hit the lottery on this one, and every one of them is going to see contributing play time and be playmakers for the Browns. And by the way, because of salary cap implications, it could be one of the most smart moves they ever did, because these guys are all going to be on rookie deals for the next 3 to 4 years. And then you sprinkle in some talent and some other veterans. Once you have some more cap space and you're not cap hell, that's going to bode well for this Cleveland Browns team. I told people this, we might be 0-2, and I really believe last year was the bottom of the rudder. Like, I do think the future is bright for the Browns. The cap space is going to be cleared. they're going to have. I mean, they got 2 first-round draft picks next year. There's a lot that's looking good for the Browns in the future. So, Browns fans, I know we always say next year, but I don't even think this year is over. But the future is bright for the Cleveland Browns, and I got to tell you, based on what I'm seeing now. New head coach or not new head coach, we don't know what that's going to happen. I mean, that's always thing. I do think Andrew Berry would be safe. I don't think they would do a complete clean of house. That just doesn't resonate with me. And what I mean by that is the fact that the owner came out and said we swung and missed, him taking ownership of that, like that's not on my Andrew Berry because I made that decision with my GM to make the trade. I think Andrew Berry survives. I don't know about Stefanski. It depends on it. If these guys are still bought in by middle of the season, still playing tough, and he hasn't lost the locker room, he'll be back. But I think you need to string some wins together here sooner than later. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And get some young linemen up in there. But we can't do that until next year.
Yeah, not until next year. Well, or via trade during free agency.
Right. Or waiver wire.
Or waiver wire. Well, Ray, it's been our time. Our hour is up, my friend. Everybody, thank you for joining. Allie will be on sabbatical again next week, so Ray will be here. We may have another fun, surprising guest. You never know. I got a couple people out there. I'm just waiting to confirm back. So hopefully maybe another player will come in from the Cleveland Browns to give us some results of how that week went and how they prepare for Detroit. So looking forward to that. By the way, interesting thing though, Ray. I do believe that it's very interesting about the Browns that may bode well for them going forward in the future this year. Other than London, the Cleveland Browns don't really travel very far this year. All their games are very close when it comes to traveling. So I was looking at that. Like they don't have to go, other than Vegas, they're not having to go back and forth across the country all the time. So the travel schedule for the Browns is not terrible this year when it comes to their opponents. So I know that plays into it when you have to go across the country multiple times in a season. The Browns only have to go over there once, and then the Browns are given extra time, obviously, by going over to the pond in London. So, but anyway, appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, go Browns.
Go Browns.